welcome back to my channel, Sanbonani. Thank you guys for always coming back to watch the videos. Today is Sunday, so it's Sunday Goss Day, and I just want to get started with the veggie prep before we go to church. I already have beetroot boiling in the pot because it takes quite a bit of time to cook. And on the menu we have some rice, some beef curry, and potato salad. Veggies, I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to be making. I'm just going to be winging it as I go. But let's just get started on the prep and head to church.
I think I lied for you. I think I died for you. Honestly cry for you. Only when you want me to. Like controller. Spend my life with you. I wanna please you in any way I can. I wanna share my world. Don't you understand? Your love is a one in a million. It goes on.
Alright guys, so let's get started with the cooking, and I'm going to start with the potatoes. I'm using cold water. I'm going to bring it to boil, adding a bit of salt for taste. And then allow the potatoes to cook until really soft, because we want to use them for a potato salad, so we want them completely cooked. I don't peel my potatoes, that's just my preference, but you may. Once cooked, remove from the heat, drain the hot water and allow them to cool. And then we move on and get the butternut started. I'm going to add a little boiling water into the butternuts to allow it to steam. Please don't use a lot of water. You don't want it to boil. You just want it to steam, to soften. And while that happens, let us get on with the rice and cook it in salted boiling water until it is cooked. And then we move on to the beetroot that we cooked earlier. It has cooled down and we have removed the peels. Those are not my hands, obviously, but when it comes to Sunday Goss, the more hands in the kitchen, the better. Because wow, Sunday Goss is a lot of work. Anyway, chop the butternut into cubes, and then we use some sugar and vinegar to season it. Sometimes I use chutney, Mrs. Ball's chutney. So yeah, those are the seasonings I normally use for beetroot. Alright, so the rice is cooked by now. Just going to drain off the excess water, and the butternut as well has softened. Remember, we don't want it to cook completely at this stage because we're still about to add some brown sugar, be it honey or white sugar, it doesn't matter, and half a teaspoon of cinnamon and 2 tablespoons of butter and some salt and pepper. Close the lid, reduce the heat to low, and let it finish cooking until completely soft. Once the butternut is completely softened, mash it up to your liking, whether you like it a bit chunky or completely smooth, and then we move on to the next part. Up next is the savory rice. Remember earlier we cooked the rice and set it aside, so now we're just going to zhuzh it up. We're going to heat up some oil and fry 1 small diced onion, and then follow that with some mushrooms. I used like half a tray, so it's about 100 grams. Allow the mushrooms and the onions to soften, and then go in with your mixed peppers. You want the rice to be colorful because right now it's just plain white. Allow all the veggies to cook, but you don't want them to overcook. season that with some garlic powder and veggie seasoning. I used about a tablespoon of garlic powder. You can also use fresh garlic, and also a tablespoon of veggie seasoning, and then paprika as well, about a teaspoon or so. Allow the veggies to soak in the spices and let that cook for a few minutes. And follow up with some butter, 2 tablespoons of butter, and some chopped fresh herbs. This is coriander and parsley. Stir the butter in to allow it to melt. Then go ahead and add the rice in and combine it with the veggies. I don't add all the rice at once. I add like half and then stir and see how it's looking, and then I keep adding more as I need. And then some aromat to season the rice. And well, that's it. Our savory rice is done. Now let's get going with our beef curry. This is about 1.5 kgs of stewing beef. We're going to start off by seasoning it with 2 teaspoons of paprika and 3 teaspoons of garlic pepper. Mix that into the meat, and then let's get started with the curry. Yo guys, this is a lot of talking. It's just as much as the cooking. So I'm just gonna let the music play now, and I'll write everything on the captions.
See, what's the point in waiting anymore? 'Cause girl, I've never been more sure that baby it's you. This ring here represents my heart and everything that you've been waiting for. Just say I do. Because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grassland side by side. You could be my baby, let me make you my lady. Girl, you amaze me, ain't gotta do nothing crazy. See, all I want you to do is be my love. So don't give away my love. So don't give away my love. So don't give away. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love. So don't give away my love. So don't give away my love. So don't give away. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love. I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes in the sand. I can see us on the countryside, sitting on the grassland side by side. You could be my baby, let me make you my lady. Girl, you amaze me, ain't gotta do nothing crazy. See, all I want you to do is be my love. My love. My love. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love. My love. My love. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love.
Boy, now you make me float, float. Boy, you really give me high. Ooh, I feel like I'm on dope, dope. 'Cause you you're doing now. Baby, now we can close. Let's go. Let's go. Let's not get in a hurry. No, that's too slow. Hey, go ahead and put that thing in the I want you to rock.
So for dessert, we're having some jelly. That is Umi's request. So she is here making the jelly with Big Sis.
If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, run really well, show. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know, stomp your feet.
Stomp, stomp.
If you're happy and you know, run you really wanna show. If you're happy and you know, stomp your feet.
Stomp, stomp. Alright, let's check on our curry, and it is smelling divine. And we're almost there. Just a few more minutes. We're almost there. The meat is tender. There's still enough gravy because the heat was on low. But let's let it cook just a few more minutes. In the meantime, we're just gonna get started on the last dish, which is the fried cabbage and carrots. Use lots of butter here because we have quite a bit of cabbage. And then add some garlic. Let that fry gently until the garlic is fragrant. That would normally take about like 30 seconds. And then add your cabbage. Let it fry a bit until it starts to wilt. And the carrots. Just stir that through and let it cook. And then we season with some Italian herbs. And I don't know how many times I've used this spice for this meal, but it is one of my absolute favorite spices from Robertson's, the veggie seasoning. And then a little bit of aromat, not too much because the veggie seasoning has some salt in it. And then close the pot and let the cabbage cook for a few minutes. You don't want it fully cooked. You want it like soft but crunchy, you know, like a stir fry. That's what we're going for. So the curry is done now, and we're just going to end off with some fresh coriander. Switch the heat off, and yep, we're done. Finally. The dessert is going to be some jelly, custard, vanilla ice cream, and some peaches. So let's set the table and get ready to feast.
Don't make me wait, no, don't you? Just say you will.